I'll wait for some of y'all to jump on as usual before I start talking my shit. What's up, though? I'll wait for some more of y'all to join up before I start talking. Davey, what's up, man? Matt Norris, what's good with y'all, man? What y'all think of the combine so far, man? Well, so far it's over now, but what y'all think of it? Make sure y'all hitting that like button and subscribe button when y'all jump in here too, so that more people can join. Mm. You see your boy Boute tested horribly, but his tape is nice. I feel you. I'm not talking about the tape because we know we're gonna get into the tape. I'm just talking about strictly from combine perspective, like who's on the rise. That's what we're gonna talk about. Dom, what's up, man? DCFN, what's good? You here? I feel you. Make sure y'all hit that like button when y'all come in. I got a little bit of allergies or something. I don't know, my eyes itching like a mother. All right, there's enough of y'all in here. Top of the line, what's up, man? Yep, let's go. So I'm going to just go over some guys that's like that I like that I really didn't have a beat on. I mean, and not the obvious guys. I mean, you already know we already talked about Nolan Smith. I mean, Nolan Smith did his thing, running a 4.3. I think we can just go over that real quick again. Sadiqa, how are you? What's up? He said, "I'm really happy Ringo had a bad combine, so I don't need to worry." Laugh my ass off. Yeah, Ringo ran good. He just wasn't very explosive. That was kind of crazy. Nolan Smith, man, he's a guy that I'm still thinking he's a Swiss Army knife. You know, it depends on he still might fall to 26. It depends on what guys need or what teams need ahead of us. And if they're not looking for a true defensive end, like if they're looking for a true defensive end, that's only a defensive end. Unless you look at um, Hassan Reddick and say that's more so because that's kind of who he's built like. Unless you say like you're a team that's kind of built like the Eagles, where you need a situational pass rusher that can come in like Landry or come in like Reddick and just give you some pass rush capability on third downs or specialize in a specialized unit. I like him there, but I personally like him better as a Swiss Army knife, like a guy in a Pittsburgh Steeler zone blitzing scheme that you can move around. But he definitely did his thing. Gibbs was very smooth. I didn't look at Gibbs. I didn't even put him on this list because he's one of the obvious guys. But Gibbs was probably not that I didn't think he would be smooth, but he was probably the smoothest back that I watched in the combine. It was just like he made every drill look easy. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button when you're in there. But Jahmyr Gibbs made everything look simple, like super simple. I showed you guys some film the other day when I was working on him versus Drew Sanders, and that tape doesn't even equate to what I saw in the combine. It was crazy. He actually looked better than Bijan to me. Bijan is fast and strong, but some of the drills is like, yeah, he's getting through it through athleticism, but the technique wasn't as sound as good as Gibbs. Gibbs and our kid Ashawn or Akon, whatever you want to call him, both those guys look very natural with every drill that I saw them in. And Akon is one of those backs that we might be able to get in the third round, something like that, because of his size. He's only 5'9", but as far as eye test between him and Gibbs, he's only 2 inches, maybe 3 inches of difference in height, but ability and fluidity was the same between Akon and Gibbs. So, but I'm not talking about running backs here. I was just telling you guys about that because somebody brought it up. But what's up with all y'all, man? Make sure again y'all still hitting the like button, sharing it, subscribing if you haven't subscribed already. Let's start with the guy that everybody keep jumping in my chat about, and that's Kalijah Cansey. And although he did blow up with a 4.6, he's a 280-pound guy that ran a 4.6. He played in the backfield all season, had 14 and a half tackles for losses and about 7.5 sacks. So he is very disruptive. But I'll say it and I'll say it again. To me, although he does have the explosion and the speed, he's a smaller Osa Odigizua, in my opinion. And I don't know what or where we would move or put a guy like that. I put out a video earlier to answer your question, Jameson, or not Jameson. Who asked me that? Dom. To answer your question, what I think about Mozzie Smith, I'm saying like if I'm looking at D tackles as a whole, like who can do it all, Kansas is definitely a pass rushing upfield, one gapping defensive tackle that can play three tech and get up the field, can definitely be disruptive against the run. He can also play 3-4 defensive end and cause some problems there in a JJ Watt type of scheme. Um, wouldn't have a problem with that. But when you say overall defensive tackle, meaning guys that can play three tech, one tech, pass rush, stop the run, pursue, uh, got good hand fighting, strong, fast, explosive, everything you would look for in a defensive tackle, no matter what size. I'm looking at Mozzie Smith. So when you ask me what Mozzie is, Dom, Mozzie is the best overall defensive tackle because he checks every box for what you will want a defensive tackle to do for you. Period. So if you said, "Hey, we need a guy that can be stout against the run," that's cool. You want to put a guy next to Hankins if we can get Hankins back, or Bohanna, or Carlos Watkins, any of those guys. You want a guy that can be next to those guys and kind of solidify the middle of the field. He can do that too. You want a guy that can be an Aaron Donald, like you guys think Kancey is. He's hell of explosive. And when you look at the fact that this dude can bench press 325, not 225, 325, 22 to 23 times. Doing that, doing 225, 22 times is good for a linebacker, good for a safety. 325, 22 times is ridiculously strong. That means he can bench press his ops. The offensive guards are averaging 330 pounds. He can bench press a whole grown man 22 times before he gets tired. You get what I'm saying? And the 225, he bench pressed 34 times, which is a record at the combine. He didn't run, which he will do at his pro day. But I don't need him to run to see it. I watch his explosion, his ability to jump, his broad jump, his running ability, his hands, and watching him on film. I've already seen enough. Mozzie Smith is my favorite defensive tackle. Period. He tests through the roof with just the eye test on film, but when you look at his strength, it matches. Sometimes, especially in the Big Ten, you might say, okay, well, it might not be real. You never know, right? But when you watch what he's able to do versus the way he tests, I think he's the guy right there. So Mozzie Smith, just from his bench press alone, showed me that his strength that I see on film and his ability to just shed guys in front of him are almost like when you see Micah Parsons being blocked. Like it's almost impossible to block him, and he's like shedding guys on his way to the quarterback or the running back with ease. He's always on focus and focused on his target, and he gets through his opposition and kind of gets through the trash without even really thinking about it. Whereas you have other guys that have to actually do it technically. Like you have LV that's okay, I see this guy, now he loses sight of the running back because he's dealing with what's in front of him. Mozzie doesn't do that. He just, what's in front of him is an afterthought because you're not blocking him. It's just about which way am I going to shed you is what he's doing when he's two gapping on his way to the running back. Same thing goes for, like I said, with Michael Parsons. They're able to do that type of thing. And Mozzie is very good at it. Anyway, Julius Brent was a guy that I wanted to talk about too because he's a corner with that's 6'4". He ran a 4.5, and he can jump through the roof. He had an 11.6 foot broad jump, which is crazy. So he's explosive and he's tall and he can run good enough and he can jump through the roof. So he's a guy I think that kind of jumped up there. And because he couldn't really get on with Illinois because you had guys like Devin Weatherspoon and other guys there, he transferred to Kent State and so he could start. But I think he's a guy that if you're looking for a third round guy somewhere in there, he fits the bill for a Dan Quinn because you see how he like Izzy Mukwamu. He's one of those type of players. So I could see us taking him as a corner late if we're looking for a corner late, especially if he slides to the fourth and fifth round. Julius Brent definitely stood out to me. Obviously, Deontay Banks with that 4.3 speed, he just killed every drill. Whether it's his transition, his ability to like get out of his pedal and turn, he was killing it. His speed, 4.3 speed, 42-inch vertical, 11-foot broad jump. He's just an explosive athlete, and I think he probably pushed himself into second round or late first round as well. With the way he tested, if he wasn't there already, I didn't look at where everybody was ranking, but I did point out guys that I haven't heard people name that often. I didn't look at wide receivers, so I'm not talking about wide receivers in this one. because I didn't look at their scouting report or their combine preparing for this. Brian Brees is by far the best defensive tackle. I think Brian Brees did well. I think he's good, but he's a guy that's again a three tech guy, and he's about 297. I was just looking at guys that can help us as far as the run is concerned. When I look at three tech, I say how many three techs are we going to have out there that are going to come in and play hands down better than our current three techs, which is Osa and Chauncey Golston, who I like both of them. And how much better are you as a rookie coming in? Like, are you a guy that's getting in line behind them? Mozzie is not in line behind either of those guys. Brian Brees probably is a year behind those guys. Where what you see on film from Osa and Chauncey, you may not see a Brian Brees get on the field as often. Not that he wasn't good. So Shakhtar, you are right. But when I'm looking at someone that could stop the run, I wasn't looking at a guy that's probably going to be a three tech. I was looking at a one tech, a stout one tech, so that we don't have to go and bargain shop for guys like Hankins in the future. I want to, I feel like Dan Quinn and those guys truly want a monster one tech that they can call their own, and then they build around that. And I see that being because there's a lot of talk about Ika. Ika's not the guy to me. He's very strong, probably just as strong as Mozzie, maybe even stronger. Who knows? Because he's a big dude, but he's too slow as far as getting to the ball carrier. I don't like his ability to get to the ball, but I do like his ability to clog things up in the middle. But if I'm saying, okay, that's what he gets an A grade for, Mozzie gets an A grade for that too. So I wouldn't give him that. Adi or Adi Tamawa Adi Boari, whatever you say his name is, however you say his name. This dude, man, is a Julius Peppers type athlete according to the combine. And I mean, a dude that's 280, shit, that runs a 4.4 is crazy. And he had 9.5 sacks this season. So he's a guy to look out for now. Adi, ADE. That's what they call him. But it's Adi Tamawa, Adi Bawari. That's how you say his name, or Boar, however you say his name. But he's a guy that I think definitely moved up in the draft too because of his ability to run. Like he can run a 4.4 and you 280 pounds and you're a defensive end. He's not like Kalijah Cansey, who's an interior guy. He's an edge guy that's 280. And that's a different thing. And that's a different thing altogether. And if you're looking for a guy that could come in here and maybe give you a spell for Dorrance, or definitely a spell for Tank Lawrence that has the size of Tank Lawrence already. Remember, Tank Lawrence came here about 260. You know what I mean? He had to get up to that 280 that he is now. Adi's already walking in the door 280, so he might be pushing 300 pounds by the time he gets that to NFL strength and full grown man strength. He'll grow into that. So a guy that's 300 pounds or close to it that can run a 4.4 is almost Madden type shit. So he's a guy that's big on the board as well because with that size, you can literally put him anywhere on the offensive line. He can become that. And I'm not saying Crawford, was it Tyrone Crawford? He could become that Tyrone Crawford guy as far as being a Swiss Army knife on a line of scrimmage, not playability. I think he's better than Tyrone Crawford, but his size automatically puts him in a position where he can play defensive end on either side because of his speed and his size. He can play three tech if you wanted him to, and spell guys like Osa. So because of that, he's a guy that you could find different places for if you needed to get him on the field and not have to worry about him solely pushing Osa and those guys out of the way, like Chauncey and Osa. I don't think that there's a guy that's going to come in and just totally outdo what we already got from Osa as far as productivity. So how much time would a guy like Cansey get on the field and have an impact this season? Not that he's not a good player. So I want to make that clear because a lot of people, when I say no to Cansey, they think I don't like him. He reminds me of my brother, my late brother, to be honest with you. Fast, explosive, low center of gravity, about 280 to 300 pounds at his best playing weight, 6'1", can run like a running back, and is very disruptive upfield. I love it. Trust me, I do. But is he a fit for the Cowboys is what my point was with everything we were talking about this weekend. And I don't think he is. Um, Let me see what you guys are saying before I move on to someone else. Uh, How many one techs do we need to keep on the squad? I feel you. But Mozzie isn't just a one tech. That's why I said I like Mozzie the most because he's a three tech, one tech. Whatever you need him to do, he can do it. Let's see. Per Jordan Schultz, Dono LV will most likely play on different teams next year. I wouldn't see that being a far fetched. Like with what you saw in line as far as linebackers in the draft, you could find a guy. And then what we saw with Clark, and now we have Brillo, who I think will definitely. I think they were just saving Brillo because they were giving him that year off from the ACL tear. There was no point in really pushing the envelope with him when you got a young guy that too because of the ACL early. It helps us as far as money is concerned because he'll be up for a contract in a year or two. And he had a whole year off with no stats last season. They kind of kept him on ice. But that has nothing to do with the way Brillo was practicing. Because when I was asking people in around the team that I know, they're like, "Hey, well, what's he looking like in practice?" They're like, "He's flying around. He's happy. Team loves him. He knows what he's doing. But why is he on the field?" They were giving him a red shirt season because of that knee. And I think this season you might see Brillo Cox actually come out a little bit more. Pause. But you might see him develop a little bit more this season alongside a Clark. And then depending on if we go out and get a veteran, that leaves less playing time for a guy like LV who's still trying to prove it. He's already proven to us what he's worth, and is not worth what he thinks he's worth. So I don't think LV is here. And the bad thing about Donald Wilson is that the top end of safety, because of guys like Adams, Jamal Adams, and that's who he reminds me of, a better Jamal Adams actually. But Jamal Adams was getting 18 mil last year. So a guy like Donald Wilson may not be here, although he's my favorite safety on his team. He may not be here due to the fact that you got Izzy Mukwamu came on very strong and can do more things. Maybe not as good a hitter as Donald Wilson, but he's definitely better in coverage than Dono is by far. He can cover out of the slot. He can cover single high and spell guys like Hooker. He could play down in that position that you have Curse in, and you don't have a problem with him matching up against tight ends. So Izzy Mukwamu's flexibility makes it very hard to pay a guy like Donald Wilson when you saw what Izzy was able to do in the playoffs, even though we love Dono here. So that's not a knock on Dono. I'm not trying to hate on Dono. Again, he's one of my favorite players. But as you said, I don't see that being a far fetch to see that he might be suiting up in a different uniform, especially if he doesn't take anything team friendly. But even if he did take something team friendly, he's not the highest priority on this team because you got guys like Kurtz under contract for another year, Hooker as well, Izzy Mukamu who's coming up. You forget about a guy who plays a lot like him in Marquise Bell. Not that he is him, but he plays a lot like him, and a guy like Marquise Bell, and we have Coyle as well. So we have about 4 or 5 safeties that we like outside of Dono, and that's just facts. So both of those guys, like you said, may not be here. Schultz definitely already. You see what the Cowboys like to do when they have a contract coming up. They're going to pad behind you to see if you either going to do what Tank Lawrence did, which is like solidify yourself in the locker room and with just viciousness, or you're out of here because they're going to pad guys behind you. And we have depth at every position because of that. So those guys behind Schultz and even McKinn, you got McKinn, you got Hendershot, and you got Ferguson. I like Schultz, but I don't think he's a better athlete or will be a better tight end overall than Ferguson, or even Hendershot for that matter. Hendershot runs like a wide receiver, so I want to see more playing time out of him, and he can block just as good. So can Ferguson. They both can block, and they both run routes a little bit better and a little bit more athletic. So I don't see Schultz getting big money here either. The only push that he would have had would have been us doing something major, like him killing it in a Super Bowl or Dak crying to keep him or something like that. But I don't think that's going to happen. So you guys, you're right with that, Davey. We argue a lot, but I don't disagree when it makes sense. That's common sense. Another guy that I want to talk about, Yaya Diaby from Louisville, 263 pounds, but his 10-yard split, like his agility and his quickness is ridiculous. So he's another guy that can play edge that you can see going into maybe the second or third day or second day and making this team and making an impact where you can actually put him in as a situational pass rusher as well. But I think he was a big winner this week. that nobody's really going to talk about. Him along with Adi, I think were two of the guys that I didn't even think about that came into the combine and killed it. Running back wise, it was Akon. I wasn't looking at Achon or Ashon at all. He ran a 4.32 fastest 40 time. He's a low center of gravity guy, and I liked another low center of gravity guy in Corum, and he's similar as far as build to Corum, but he's faster and he has just as far as ability, he looks just as good on film. So I thought that he killed it, man. Um, Now losers, man, a dude that just killed himself, Trey Dean, man, that 4.75 killed him, man. He's explosive though. Like he could do everything else. He could jump. He can, his shuttle time was good. He can broad jump and so on, but it just didn't translate to his 40 time. So maybe there was something wrong with his hammy. But the reason I say he was the loser because he was ranked higher. He probably would have went third round, late second round, early third round. He might get pushed to maybe fourth, fifth, or maybe even undrafted because of his 40 time. But because of that, somebody else, some team will win big off of him because just like Anquan Bolden said that I don't think that 4.7 is really my speed. I think the same thing for Trey Dean. I think he's faster. His film looks faster than 4.7. So I think that if his 4.7, since his 4.7 stood, that might be a good thing for him or for a team. I'm sorry, because they'll get him cheaper. But it's bad for him in his pockets. But it's good for any team that's looking for a value safety. I think he can. I think he can help a team out. Honorable mentions before we get into open conversations. Anthony Richardson. I didn't look at quarterbacks, but Anthony Richardson and C.J. Stroud, they went out there and killed it. Um, I talked about Byron Young the other day. Andre Carter from Army. I remember I did his film. I'm looking at his film now actually, and I wasn't impressed by his film. That's why I didn't finish it. Wasn't impressed by his film. He looked kind of he's a finesse guy. Looked weak at the point of attack, but he looked fluid. Fast enough. But he didn't run a 40, so he's going to have to show out on his pro day, and he didn't have any explosion when it came to any of the drills that he actually did do. Like he jumped like a 30-inch vertical. They say white man can't jump, and he definitely proved that to be true. He cannot jump. Nor was his broad jump. His broad jump was like 9 feet, 9 feet. So he doesn't have any lower body explosion, and he's a 6'7" guy, kind of lanky, and already a finesse guy. So a finesse guy like that, you will want to show you some sort of lower body power and strength, so that you can say, okay, he can grow into that frame and do some things. He may get drafted, but I think now he's a 6, 7 round guy, and he's a project guy. Maybe 2, 3 years before you see anything significant out of him. That's just what I think. I could be wrong. And my number one, to me, number one standout because of where he ranked as far as cornerbacks, corner, not quarter, cornerbacks are concerned. Shout out to Aisha Morris, who did a great job covering the draft, covering the combine. I'm sorry, this weekend. But she talked about this guy, and I watched him. Emmanuel Forbes ran a 4.3. He's 6'1". They were talking about the fact that he's only 167 pounds. He played at 173. I think his overall weight when it's all said and done will be in the 180s. He's a linky frame guy, very very lean. So he'll probably be in the 180s by the time it's all said and done next season. But we saw Samari Roll and some guys like that were slender built guys that can play corner and that he can hit. But he ran a 4.32, and as far as overall combine score, he ranked number 2 amongst all cornerbacks in the combine. And that bodes well for a guy who was already coming in undersized, who they were talking about. But he's the best ball hawk in this draft, and I'm talking uh, Trayvon Diggs level ball hawk ability, and that's with a guy like Devin Weatherspoon, who I also like, who plays with his eyes and very aggressive. But Emmanuel Forbes is definitely nasty, man. I liked what he did in the combine. Let me see what you guys are saying in here, and I'll comment on those things too. Some guys I haven't looked at, so if you name somebody I haven't seen, I'll look at them. Let me see. He said, but linebacker to be dude from Iowa. Um, Possibly. I have to check him out. Let me see. He said I was watching that movie. I don't know what you're talking about, Sadiqa. Let's see what y'all talking about. What's up, Steve White? How you, man? Let's see. You said to you, Mozzie favors Osa, Sadiqa. Osa as far as play style, but he's bigger. And yeah, he does play like Osa, very violent, but he's Osa's violent, Chauncey's violent, Mozzie's violent. But as far as overall strength and ability to like deliver that violence in a more vicious and impactful way, they're two different animals because of size. But Osa definitely is violent. I'll give you that. Oh, Darnell Washington, not even talk about. Darnell Washington, his hands are crazy. He ran a 4.6. He's 6'7". He can block. He's a beast. If they went out, if he was there, I don't know what he's projected at, but he's there in the first 2 rounds, 3 rounds. I wouldn't be mad if somebody went and got him. I really wouldn't. Appreciate the super chat, Megatwan. Let me see what you said in here though. Not the super chat, but the cash app. My Cash App is definitely in the description. If you guys want to suggest or recommend people that I look at, I will definitely do so. Let me see what you said. He said, "Do you like Clark Phillips?" Didn't take a long look at Clark Phillips, so I don't know. But now that you said it, I will. But I don't like to comment on a guy that I haven't really looked at. If I haven't looked at you, or if I haven't watched you, because I don't watch college football throughout the season. So what I do is, with everybody that you guys recommend, I just get into the film. I don't listen to anything on the broadcast. I don't care who's hype on them. I'm not looking at their Twitter. I just go look at the film, and that's it. You said you're praying for Bijan. You mean you praying we get him, or you praying did something happen to him, or you praying that we get him? Don, don't move 2x or 2 times or 2 texts. I don't know how to say it. Okoye, are you in a basement like the brick back? No, this is my room, man. I'm in my room. This is my room. I'm on the third floor, but it is in this apartment. We just got exposed brick on our back walls throughout the whole apartment. That's just the way it goes. So no, I'm in my room. No basement. Phillips is 5'9". He won't be a cowboy. Oh yeah, maybe that's what it is. I want Darnell Washington. I feel you. I'll look at him. What else we got? This is probably not going to be popular opinion, but I still want CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud can throw, man. His ability to throw and put it on the mark is there. But I think to take a quarterback high would be crazy. So no, I don't think we're going after him at all. The running back class looked nice. This is Davey 84, making me want to draft 2 backs and move on from what we had. You say that every time we get on here, bro. I feel you. TGCTV, Forbes is nice. Once he gets in a pro weight program, he will be fine. I agree with you, bro. I'm saying, like, do we need a Forbes to come in and be the number 2 today? No. I could look at him like I looked at Izzy Mukamu. Bring him here, let him get a year under his belt. Somebody gets injured, bring him in, let him do what he got to do. But I think he's a second season, and you go get a Forbes in the third round. I think he's a second season blossoming corner with the way he plays. He might not be give you the same energy that Bland gave us, but I think the second day, I mean, he gonna kill that man. So I agree. I agree when it comes to that. Was a dude last year saying Stroud was tiny. Stroud as an athlete, man, he crazy with it. Does Jalen Carter last until 26 after the car wreck stuff? And do you think we take him if he's there? Jalen Carter's a defensive tackle too. Um, I don't know. Like he's again, I got to look at his film versus Mozzie. I honestly don't think Mozzie's going to go in the first round. He's not projected to go first round. We might be able to get him second round, third round, and because of that, I don't think you have to jump in and grab a defensive tackle at 26. I think 26 you're going to be looking at. There's this kid, man. Who sent me this kid? Oh man, from Cincinnati, I think. Think of Cincinnati. Wide receiver from Cincinnati, ridiculously fast, man. Both him and Zay Flowers, I think, will be if they're there at 26. One of them is going. Scott, that's his name. Scott, Tyler Scott, that's his name. Yeah, Tyler Scott. That kid, 5'11", 195. I was watching his film yesterday. I was like, damn, I'm not doing wide receivers right now. But shit, that dude is fast, man. And I don't mean fast like straight line burner, Tavon Austin fast. I mean route running. Him and Zay Flowers to me would be, I'll be happy with either one of them because they're just like quick twitch route running savants. So I like both those guys at 26 if they're there. And then a second round, you might address offensive line or maybe defensive line, either or. And then we might grab some value corners in the third or beyond. But I think both of those guys, if either one of them is there at 26, we might take either one. Um, you said Scott was supposed to be fast, but he was only a 4.5 guy. When y'all say only 4.5, man, 4.5 is fast, but he's quick. Like he gets in and out of his breaks. He can get upfield quick, and sometimes getting to your top speed. So your explosion, you can't just look at top end speed because top end speed is great. But you see how some guys get off on their 40-yard dash and it takes them a while to get to that top end speed. Some guys are explosive right out of the gate and they'll run a faster 40 than another guy because they accelerate faster. He's a different guy. Like I think he's a short area quickness guy, but he has acceleration, burst, and explosion, and he can stop on a dime and change direction, which is why he's probably always so wide open on film. So Scott is still a guy that I still would go get, even though I do agree he's not as fast as I thought he would be as far as his time, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Not to me. Um, I think we still need an X, Cedric Tillman. Why we need an X? I think Gallup will be better this season, man. I really do. If he's not, then sue me. But I think he'll be better this season. Let me see. I bet Jerry picks Jalen Carter is just his stilo to pick quality with an issue, yeah, type of player over undervalued players that have potential. That's true. That is true. He will take a quality guy that's injured or has some sort of knock on him. But I don't think it'll be Jalen Carter. It wouldn't make sense. He said Scott ran a 4.40 time. That's not slow at all. Oh, 4.40, yeah. 4.40 is good. I thought he ran a 4.5. You lied on him, man. You lied on him, Davey. Why you lying on my mans? All right, people like Matt Norris are straight up fantasy football fans. Damn, stop coming to my man Matt. But Matt is asking for who you ask for, CJ Stroud. Like I like to keep it in the realm of realism though. You can like who you want, but I don't think we're gonna even get nobody on that level. Not at quarterback. Damn, 215 Khalil was good, man. He said, "Damn, Okoye wasn't playing when he said more content." No, I wasn't. I really wasn't. Jackson Smith or JSN. JSN, I think he ran a 4.5 though. But JSN is another guy just like Scott, but he's not a deep guy. He's a slot guy who can burn it up a little bit. I think Scott is like a little Steve Smith dude, even though Steve Smith. In today's football, you probably would say, "Oh, he looks like a slot guy because he's 5'9". Nah, he can line up outside all day. He could be your X, your Z, whatever you want him to do. And I think JSN is a guy that's just a slot guy, whereas Scott, I think you could put him anywhere. He can cause you some problems. JSN is definitely a crazy route runner, but he's a slot guy. He's a slot guy only, I think. And I think the Cowboys are moving towards versatility now rather than guys that are staples. Not that they won't draft a guy that's stuck in one position, but they devalue you because of it. Is what I'm saying. We've been moving towards versatility in the offensive line. Look at Tyler Smith. We've been looking towards versatility when it comes to running backs, versatility when it comes to wide receivers. We want guys that can do a little. And defensively, there's all versatility. Everybody plays or should be able to play multiple spots on defense. So I think versatility is becoming the new thing for us. So they'll value a guy that can play in multiple spots higher than they'll value a guy that is great at his one position. I think more so now than ever before. I'd be so geeked if we got Zay Flowers. He's what we need. He's electric after the catch. Yeah, Zay Flowers is nasty. Zay Flowers is nasty. And he put on about 13 to 14 pounds of muscle in the last couple months. So Zay Flowers now is like he's weighing in at like 183. And he was playing at 170, 175. So you're right about that. Cedric Tillman. Foot guy, yuck. For Cedric Tillman, foot guy, yuck. Foot's guy. Cedric Tillman, I don't know. I haven't looked at him either, but Foots likes him, so I might take a look at him and see what Foots talking about. I don't know him though. I hope Jerry still has sugar plums for Darnell Washington, like he did for Kyle Pitts. Let's see. JSN is not a slot guy. That's where you're thinking too much. No, he's a slot guy. I think you're wrong on that one. He's a slot guy because that's where the hell he plays. Where have you seen him do damage anywhere else? Everybody keep telling me I'm crazy. I don't know these players. So if I say a slot guy, it ain't because I want him to be. It's because that's where he be at. I don't know him. Y'all be thinking I'm going off of my feelings or where I want him at. I don't care where he at. If you show me, hey, I could beat you up on the outside anywhere, cool, do it. If you show me you're only good at one spot, then that's what you do, and that's where he's been for 2 seasons. Well, last season he was hurt. This season, he was in the slot. Last season he was in the slot. So he might be able to come in and play somewhere else, but I'm not going off of potential. I'm going off of film. What did I see on the film? Because I'm not listening to the broadcast. I don't know the kid. I'm just saying this is where I saw him play well. Number 11. I didn't even know his name. I just said, who's number 11? He did stand out though. I said, who the hell is I had to ask, like, well, who's number 11? I wasn't even watching his film. Uh yeah, that's what I'm saying, Jay Bryant. He runs some plays from the outside. I'm not saying he will never line up anywhere else, but just like CD Lamb lines up other places, but he is a slot guy already. Like he's a guy that you line up in the slot and let him do his damage. He said he's smooth like Amari Cooper. Well, we gonna see. We gonna see what they think. I do like him though, so I wouldn't be mad if we got him. I'm not saying I don't like him. He said AKOYE 3 times this week is lit. Oh, okay. I like that too. I like to hear that. That's what's up. I do feel it. But y'all gonna see me more than 3 times a week, I hope. I just mentioned Carter because he's projected a top 5, but off the field issues are out there. He's one of my top 5 players in the draft. Okay, so let's look at him. If that's the case, then you might be right with the accident and so on. He might be a guy that Jerry would give a look at. And if we went and got a guy that could play on the edge, that can spell Parsons and keep Parsons, fresh or keep him from the edge, I think that would help this team a lot. So you might have a point. Megatwan, he said, I'm gonna support my big bro forever, man. I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for the super chats and the cash apps. Y'all killing it with that. All of it goes towards this channel. Like I said, I don't need it for my personal life, but definitely for the channel to grow. You definitely want to support and do what you gotta do. So any way you could do that, you guys could definitely send cash apps, super chats, whatever you do is definitely going back into the channel and going into me doing more. I want to go and get a virtual assistant that can take some of my content and turn it into shorts so that I can get it out there to more people. So we will be doing that too. Stay tuned though. Stay tuned. Like I said, we got the gym now, and we're retrofitting the gym. We actually signed the lease Friday. Signed the lease Friday, and we'll start retrofitting it this month. So first thing I'm gonna do is epoxy the floors, and then we should be able to start shooting some content from there. I'm gonna have a section in there where I can sit and do this. You won't see this background much because I'll do a lot of content from there. But I don't like to talk about stuff till I'm doing it. So just stay tuned. There's definitely some surprises coming for you guys, man. Definitely, because I ain't playing. Let me see if I see anything new, any other new names. Uh a DN with free Parsons up. You're definitely right. Like we got another DN that could free Parsons up and make him play a little bit more middle linebacker. I would like that. I think Michael Parsons being able to flow sideline to sideline would be dangerous, very dangerous for this team. A guy that can come in and play middle linebacker solely, like if Mike Nolan, I mean if Nolan is there, not Mike Nolan, we don't want Mike Nolan, but if Nolan is there, Nolan Smith, if he's there, um, Nolan Smith is a guy that you can move around just like Micah Parsons. So I like both of those guys because of their versatility. I wouldn't be surprised you see a formation where you have Dorrance Armstrong and D Law on the outside with Nolan Smith and Micah Parsons in the middle of both of them on this team, or vice versa. Micah Parsons and Nolan Smith on the outside on third downs, moving D Law to three tech and a guy like Osa out there or Chauncey out there on third downs. And then in the middle in that nickel, you'll have a Jabril Cox and a Clark out there at linebacker. So it's like those two guys allow you to just move things around in a lot of unique, crazy ways that I like. So Nolan Smith is a guy that I think gives you both. And I forgot about Sam Williams, but Sam Williams is a guy that I think can spell Parsons. But Sam Williams, I think, should be considered our starter over Dorrance Armstrong, in my opinion. He should be there. Uh, a guy that's I'm looking for one more defensive end that can spell D Law. That's what I'm saying when I say one more defensive end. I'm already counting Sam Williams being there. Um, what I think about Drew Sanders, I just did his film yesterday. Who asked me that? Marvel and Group. Yeah, he said, "What do I think about Drew Sanders?" Drew Sanders, man, I like him a lot. He's raw, but I like him a lot because Drew Sanders is a guy that played defensive end for Alabama, has great straight line speed. I don't know what he's going to test at. I don't know where he tested. If somebody knows, tell me. He might be a 4.6 guy, might be a 4.5 guy, might be as fast. To me, on film, he's as fast as an LVE or faster. So LVE was a 4.6 guy. I wouldn't see him being anywhere far off that. But watching him play against Jameer Gibbs and against Alabama showed me a lot. When it came to running right at him, or running in his area, he cannot be blocked, sort of like Micah Parsons. He knows how to, because of his experience at defensive end, he's not afraid of a lineman in space because he had to deal with linemen as far as like right up on him, firing off the line. In space, it's a lot more room for him to get rid of those guys, and he already knows what to do when he engages with them. So a lot like I said, Mozzie can go and engage. Mozzie Smith can engage with a lineman and disengage and shed very easily. Drew Sanders can do the same thing. So when it comes to run support, if he's there and you saw, hey, that 6'5", 230, 240-pound guy might grow into 250, but that 6'5" frame and his experience at defensive end makes him crazy. Where he is a guy sort of like Nolan Smith that you could say the same scenario where I say you might see him at middle linebacker one play, might see him on the edge and third downs, things like that. Yeah, um, I do agree with you too, Troy, that this year will be a blow up year for Sam Williams for sure. But I do love Drew Sanders. I don't know. I just don't know if he'll be there. But if he is, I like him. I want to see what he does on his pro day. Look at Michael Jordan. He can't build a team and save his life. Matt Norris, yo, you are an angry bull, man. I like Matt, but Matt be talking shit every time I see him. Every time I see you talking shit. Uh, he said should have traded DA last year. What's up, West Coast? I wouldn't argue with that. I think DA, I like him, but I think other teams would love what he put on film. Now it's like, do I like him going into the season where we have a lot of talent out here that I think can definitely um, change the landscape of this team? I think he's a logjam. He's a guy that's good enough to be here, just like LV, good enough to be here, but I want to see something else. That's just me personally. And I think he might slow up the development of a Sam Williams because same way he did with Gregory, where they couldn't get Gregory on the field because he was just good enough in practice where he was looking good. He's going to do the same thing with Sam Williams if he's here. But Sam Williams is a beast, so I don't know. Your boy coming at me because he played 3 years of college ball, whatever that means. Oh, I don't know, man. I'll be telling y'all, man. Y'all all gotta realize, yeah, we passionate, but most of y'all Cowboys fans. I don't argue this much with Eagles fans. I mean that. I be trying to argue with Lord Brunson. We get on the phone or we get on a show, and I be trying to go at him if we actually agree because we speaking from just logic. And it's like if you being logical, he's logical when we talk. He's not logical on Twitter when he talking shit to some of y'all. But he logical when we talk. We talking facts. So if we talking facts, ain't much to argue about. Y'all dudes argue amongst each other more than I see y'all argue with Eagles fans. Eastside Harold to jump in here and nobody say nothing to him. He'll jump here talking all the shit he want. Nobody say nothing to him. But y'all be going at each other like y'all hate each other. And I'm like, damn, Cowboys fans ain't showing me nothing, man. Megatron again. He said Zach Harrison, Ohio State defensive end. I will take a look. I don't know him. I'll be honest when I don't know him. West Coast said, on God. That's facts, man. Y'all dudes be tripping on each other like it's crazy. Tripping on me too. It's true. I dislike half of Cowboys fans. Right along. I wouldn't say I dislike them. I think Cowboys fans is like if I was a therapist, I'll be like, there's a lot of trauma in their background. They shooting it out here again. Let me see. Is that shooting? Maybe not. But yeah, he said Zach Harrison nice but raw. I'll take a look at him. But when it comes to Cowboy fan, I feel like there's a lot of trauma in our background when it comes to all the losses. See, there you just said it. I'm tired of losing. The QB has been at the floor at the floor front, at the forefront. I think you mean. And people get mad because I speak facts. They get emotional over that. It's a difference when you say, like, I might say, hey, Dak played like shit this game or this season or this spots or in this stretch. It's a difference when you say that versus when you say this quarterback is the reason we will never win. Those are two starkly different things. One, you can't read the future, and I've seen bums win some Super Bowls. So, and Dak's not a bum. I wouldn't say that. That's number one. Number two, it's like you target. It's a targeting thing where it's like that's automatically gonna get an argument every time you speak, man. It's not that you speak in facts. It's you might be speaking facts in a spurt or in a phase. Like he might be bad in phases or in certain stretches. I won't argue that. I'm the one who says it. So that's a difference. And it's a difference between the way I'll critique him in a stretch versus some guys will just say, "Oh man, the next season gonna be trash too because we got that." It's like, come on, bro. It ain't. We don't have a quarterback that's horrible by any sense of the word. And I don't even see guys who have like Kirk Cousins for a quarterback talking that. I got a friend that's a Giants fan who got Daniel Jones. They think they're gonna be good. They got Daniel Jones, and you can't tell me you think Daniel Jones is better than that. So I only see that type of viscerality out of Cowboys fans, and that's the problem with it. That's what I got. He ain't great by any sense of the word either. To be fair, who he don't need to be. I don't need Dak to be great. I need Dak to be great at being Dak. That's it. Meaning, is he a feisty finisher? Can he finish? Do he run? Can he run the ball well when it's on the line? Yes. Does he make pre-snap decisions that are great? Yes, he can. Does he have trouble with anticipatory throws? He has. But I also look at him being coupled. At first, he was young with Linehan, and then second, he was with Kellen Moore, who I really do give a lot of credit for some of the debacles we saw offensively. So now we're getting a clear-eye view. I'm not trying to take anything off of Dak, but he by far is nowhere near in the bottom of the league at quarterback. Period. So to keep saying that is why y'all get so much kickback because it's a difference, bro. When you call a guy a bum who you know clearly isn't a bum, and you want to keep driving that home, you know what you're saying, you know what you're doing when you do it. So that's why you get what you get when they come at you, bro. I got love for you. I don't got no problem with you. Anybody who got the heart to keep coming in here and just fighting the entire chat, I mean, I respect it. I'm a boxing coach, so I like fighters, and you got a fighter spirit, and you do speak logic when we're talking about most players. I just think you've been hurt by Dak so much that you hate him, and you mask that in some factual stats that you will throw out. But even if he played well, I still don't think you would like him, even when he plays well. And that's the difference between me and a lot of guys that's out here. I don't care who plays well. I don't care what number you have on your uniform. If you play well, I will leave you alone. I don't hate the player. I hate the play. So when I don't like LVE, it's because I don't like the way he plays. Near the last end of the season, played well. I'm not going to talk about that. Why would I come at him? I didn't like Dak. I will be the first to say it. But I didn't hate Dak either. I just didn't like the way he was playing. And I didn't like the fact that all of the other players around him were getting the blame for it. Now it's like, okay, Dak has played well enough for me to say, okay, I don't have a problem with the level of quarterback play I have. Now we need to figure out a way. Hey, we know what he can do. We know what he can do. Let's figure out a way to win with what he can do. I'm happy with that. I don't got a problem with that. I don't because of that. So I feel you. Look what Quinn did when left alone. It's Mike McCarthy's turn. Facts. If what you mean is Mike McCarthy needs to come in and call plays better, I guess that's what you mean. That's like saying Okoye a bum boxing coach, but never trained with him. What? Who said what? I don't get what you said. Shakta. Facts. Zach can be Zach can be coached up. Zach who? He said, "Bruh, you want a CJ? Bruh, stop it. I hear you, West Coast man. That's not true at all. I followed Dak since high school in Halton, Louisiana, where I'm from. Okay, if you followed him in high school, you can't say he was a bum in high school or college. He played well, bro. I'm giving him 7 years. I've seen enough. I'm not just saying that. And I watch one or two games. I watched all of. Let me ask you one question. Since you said 7 years, okay, how long did it take Peyton Manning to start winning playoff games, or Tony Romo for that matter, or John Elway, or Dan Marino had a whole career, didn't win nothing big his entire career. But how long did it take those guys to start winning? So since you said 7 years, there's quarterbacks that Trent Dilfer was trash his entire career until he won one. You know what I'm saying? So Matt Hasselbeck went to a Super Bowl. When was he good? When was he at the top of the league? You know what I'm saying? So again, still your argument don't make sense. Even when you say you're tired of the 7 years, still don't make sense. And I don't want to make this about you, so I'm gonna move on. But yeah, it's just man. You never called him a bum, but you tired of him, bro. That's all I'm saying. You said speaking about rare Hall of Famers, that career not gonna end and can't see what I'm saying. How you know? How you know, bro? And I would never go to war with you by my side, Matt, because you already speaking like we lost before you lose. What's up, babe? I'm on live real quick. I'm about to end this soon though. I'll be there. All right. Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about right there, Matt. That's like loser spirit, man. You can't say that, bro. That's loser spirit, bro. You got loser spirit, man. If I'm about to go rumble, I'm like, listen, hey, I know Shorty Doo-Wop over here can't really fight. I might have a guy who just got a right hand. You got a puncher's chance, but we got paid. We here. We trained. You prepared as you gonna be. You go out there and put out your best performance. I would never say, man, you never you never gonna land that right hand for 12 rounds. You're gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man, that's a loser spirit, bro. You can't do that. Yeah, nah. 30 plus touchdowns one time in his career over four. That's not the litmus test for if you're a good quarterback or not to me. What's up, babe? Trey Fargo, you cracking the fuck up. Yeah, but Matt be going in. Nolan Smith could definitely help the Cowboys defense. Darren's the CEO. Davis, you exactly right. Uh, West Coast Cowboy said, "Bro, give me your qualification to give someone 7 years. Any anyway, why 7 years? I'll give you that. I already talked on that though. Uh, I'm great, and you just introduced a baby girl to the squad. Oh, I guess you talking to. Oh, you just had a baby, Lakey the kid, or Lakey? Yeah, Lakey the kid. You just had a baby. Congratulations, man. Congratulations, Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford been a loser for a long time too. Right, right. Shit. At the end of the day, Baker Mayfield might come back and do something. And I call him a bum all the time, but that don't mean he can't win ever. Like I would never say that. Cause how the hell I'ma know? You know what I'm saying? How I'ma know? How you know, Matt? You don't know. Uh I named my daughter after Dak Prescott. Oh man, she gonna be mad at you. What's her name? What's her name? Better not be Dak or Dakota. Is it Dakota? Dakota is not that's a unisex name, I guess. You know what I'm saying? You guys honestly think before Prescott's career is done in Dallas, who's winning the Super Bowl? Like if you want to just go off your feelings, would you bet your house on it? First off, I did bet money this season that we would. But secondly, I wouldn't bet my goddamn house on nothing. But thirdly, because I'm a responsible man. But thirdly, bro, think about this. You really, really think about it. We're not the team we were under JG. You still scarred by JG. We're not the same team we were under JG. We went 12-5 2 years in a row. Did you think we was going 12-5 this season, Matt? You did not think that, bro. You lying if you did. When Dak got hurt, you didn't think we was going 12-5, bro. We went 12-5 again this season. We got better, much better defensively, and we actually started to, for the first time in years, developing an identity, which is a good defensive team that can turn the ball over and get the ball back to our offense, right? All our offense has to do is play ball control now because of the way our defense plays. Can you win a Super Bowl with that? Well, we were 2 games away from one. So to say we could never win one, I can't listen to that because I feel like if Jerry's able to go out there this season and the way he was actually looking at our team and willing to go out and make some aggressive moves to push us over the top, he knows where we are and they understand that this group won't be together for many more years. So can they win a Super Bowl? Hell yeah, they can win a Super Bowl. Will they? Who knows? We hope so though. That's why we fans, bro. We ain't fans because we like sitting here and losing at the end of the season. And if you feel like that's automatically what's going to happen here, why not just go like a team that will win and make you feel better? We live in Philly, so it's a dude here by the name of Wallow267 or 215. I think it's Wallow267 who he'll have 2 jerseys. He have the jersey of the team of Philly, and he have the jersey of KC, depending on who win. He win every year because he switches jersey every season. Whoever win, that's who we rocking with. So you might want to do that, bro, if you want to feel like a winner. But if you riding, bro. You're not really riding for the Cowboys, bro. You can't even lie. You're not riding for the Cowboys at all. Troy Dudley, someone should have told Kellen we have a defense. Facts. Kellen was playing like he ain't understand that. Playing aggressive in the second quarter over and over again, having Dak throw deep across the middle and make the same mistake over and over again all season. That was sickening. And he actually is the reason a lot of y'all is hating Dak because a lot of those interceptions weren't on Dak. And I'm not saying it to make excuses for him. I would say it if he was just throwing passes like he did in San Fran. Those were on Dak. Bad throws, right? Bad reads. Coming back late to guys that are not really seeing the whole field because you got to read too much of the field. And that makes your clock a little bit more frantic. So it makes you rush your throws. So Dak was looking like that against Washington, the last game of the season. And he looked like that in San Fran too. So to me, he needs a simplified offense. And Dak playing at that level of IQ, because Kellen actually made it difficult. Because he's a quarterback. He thinks like a quarterback. He made it difficult. A simplified offense that allows Dak to get the ball out of his hands quickly to the running back quick. How you got Tony Pollard on your team and Zeke, who used to get passing yards too, and you can't get the ball in their hands quick. Get them in space, let them get the ball out quick, and let them get that quick 5 yards, 6 yards on plays, quick slants. The slant disappeared. Where was the slant? We didn't see slants. We didn't see no drag routes. And each drag route that we did throw would be like it wasn't set up properly. We didn't do any rub routes. We didn't give the ball to these powerhouse tight ends. We'll see a big play out of Ferguson. Never see the shit again. So offensive coordinator's job is to create continuity. And Kellen Moore was not good at that. So when you want continuity and you want a guy to actually develop a tree based off of what their history is, you got to scout yourself. Dan Quinn was scouting himself, so he would change things, and I could tell he was doing it because I could even anticipate what he was going to do based off of me scouting him. I would look at what we're doing with Micah Parsons, and I'll see a game like the San Fran game. I said Micah Parsons is going to be in the middle of the field this game a little bit more. Why? Because you're dealing with a faster, more run-heavy team, and we see that when we playing teams that are pass-heavy, like when we play Green Bay, they'll trick you with your game plan because they say, okay, they're going to send Micah Parsons at Aaron Rodgers, right? So they sell him on the side, on one side or another. They were choosing sides. So we're going to run away from him. And then they eliminated him from the run game, and they were able to get a lot of rush yards because of that. Whereas when we know ahead of time that a team wants to run, we move Micah Parsons to the middle of the field, right? That is a coordinator who is anticipating and actually scouting himself. Kellen Moore had no idea that. Because if I know that you're going to run a reverse every year at the 30, every game at the 30, whether you're at your own 30 or at the opponent's 30, you run the same play, a reverse action something. And nobody fell for it. And we only had maybe 2 different plays that actually 2 times it was real successful. Other than that, it's just like we just doing shit. So for me, it is a West Coast offense though. So, but to Troy Dudley, but to me, it's like Kellen was a bird brain when it came to situational play calling. Period. A lot of people said, "Oh, well," somebody said in my chat, "We ran the ball. We were 8th in rush attempts and 6th in rushing yards, or 8th in rushing yards and 6th in rush attempts." Yeah, because Mike McCarthy is telling you to run the ball more over the last 2 seasons, but it's a difference between running the ball more and putting an emphasis on how you run the ball. 2 different things. If I keep handing a guy who had a fullback his whole career, deep, most of his career when he was good, had a fullback. If I keep putting him in shotgun having guys pass block and running draw plays with a power running back. That is idiotic. And that's what we ran the majority of the time. We were running draw plays with a power back. And then y'all like, he ain't shit. Then we run a draw play with a scat back who is good at draw plays. We say, Tony's the greatest. But it's two different styles of running. You know what I'm saying? And two different style backs. Not that Tony can't run out of the power looks either, but none of these things make any sense. And these are the things that we saw out of Kellen Moore. So when y'all put all that on Dak and say that Dak is trash because Kellen is calling plays where if you got 4 comeback routes, right? And I read this guy first because this corner was playing off and he actually sat on that route. Now I have to take my eyes off of this. I look here, that safety is driving down or robbing on this seam route. I can't go there. Now where's my other read? I have to go all the way across the field while there's guys coming at me. And we looked at our offensive line like they were trash. Look at the reads. If an offensive line, like Tom Brady would get out there, it doesn't matter if the offensive line was trash or not because he ain't going to hold the ball up to 3 seconds anyway. So he made offensive lines look better because he held the ball for a shorter term. We held the ball longer and still wasn't getting sacked an aggressive amount of times. So our offensive line is actually a great offensive line considering the way the offense was being run, meaning everything was read deep to short. You can't consistently read deep to short. If you do that, and I take away your deep route, meaning I put a safety over your first read, or we put too high safety up where I know you ain't reading deep, but you still reading deep to short. Now you're either going to read deep middle, and then you're going to try to check down short. And the only place you can attack too high, reason we kept having problems with too high safety, it's not because too high safety is fucking hard to deal with. When you see too high safety, you're never supposed to read deep to begin with. We would see cover 2 and keep trying to beat the linebacker across the middle or trying to split safeties. That's where we're throwing interceptions. Where all you need to do if you see too high, give the ball to the running back short. Meaning throw it to him, throw it to your tight end short. Slants, drags, things like that underneath. It's forcing you to throw underneath anyway. And a West Coast style offense kills that. Whereas Kellen's upfield running gun offense, they were destroying us because of the way we were reading. There ain't shit you could do with that. So I could say that until I'm blue in the face, but y'all really won't believe it because it's like I don't get why you don't believe it. We on our third OC, yeah. He said we on our third OC and our second head coach. I mean, all right. I mean, what else you want me to say? What else you want me to say to you, Matt? You will never agree, and I'm not trying to get you to agree, but I'm just addressing some of the shit that you're saying. Yeah. Let me see what y'all saying in here. Horrible in red zone. I think we did all right in the red zone. We just didn't have a red zone identity. What happened to double moves in our offense, screen game, short yak game? Yep, are making the run game more creative. Hard to play QB when things aren't present in the offense. Good observation, Davey. What happened to the play action pass? Like we wasn't doing no play, and nothing happened to it because you know what you saw? You saw Cooper Rush come in, and this is why I know they would get rid of Kellen Moore because of this. Because Mike McCarthy actually said it. He said, "I think when we played complimentary football during that stretch in the season when Cooper Rush was there, that's more akin to what we want to do. I think during the Cooper Rush phase, Mike McCarthy and Brian Schottenheimer took control of the offense a little bit more because it didn't look like anything Kellen Moore would ever call. Like the way we called games for Cooper Rush, it was very simple." Very simple, but very effective. Very effective. And like he said, we don't need to be the number one offense. We just need to be the number one team. And during that time, minus a quarterback, with a quarterback that I know is not great, we were the number one team or one of the number one teams in the league. The Eagles were shook because the Eagles fans were shook because I'm around them. They were looking at us like, damn, Dallas looking crazy. Why? Because we were playing towards our defense and playing ball control offense and not being messy with the football. That's all we need to do, man. So can Dak do that? Yeah, because he did it already. Dak did turn the ball over a lot in the beginning of his career. So I know he could do that. Can he hand the ball off to Zeke or whoever we got running the ball? Hell yeah, because that's what he did the year we started liking him in the first place, his rookie year. So can he do that? Yeah, but he hasn't been asked to because he had an offensive coordinator who was asking him to be Peyton Manning. And now he did his best impersonation of Peyton Manning. But now that he's been able to do that, if you scale it down and you make it simple for him, this offense automatically gets better. So anybody arguing that sounds crazy to me because you can't tell me that Dak can't do the things we asked Cooper Rush to do and then in spots do the things that Kellen Moore asked him to do in spots, just not all game. Not all game. In our 2-minute offense, when we're at the end of the game and you need him to win, can he go run a hurry up offense and do some things for you? Yep. But you don't need him doing that all game. And that's what we was asking him to do. So that's where my problem with Kellen Moore's offense came in. So you can't say that Kellen Moore was anything close to a savant when it came to situational football. I'll give you several examples, bro. Several. And I don't even have to think it up. We would do this repeatedly. We went for it on fourth down because of Mike McCarthy a lot, right? 4th and 4, 4th and short. I think it was one game against the Giants. We went for it on fourth down, scored a touchdown. I think even against Tampa Bay, we went for it on fourth down, and CeeDee Lamb scored, I think. But we would go for it on fourth down and short all the time. But the play right before that would be third down, right, and short. If you know for a fact you're going for it on fourth down anyway, you run on third down, bro. If it's third and short, you try to shorten that up or get the first down on the ground if you know you're going for it anyway. We would throw the ball on third down. So let's say it's 3rd and 4, and you know you want to go for it on 4th and 4. You don't run the ball. You don't throw the ball on 3rd and 4 because if you get an incompletion, it's still 3rd and 4. If you ran the ball, even if it was Zeke's only averaging 3.8 yards a carry, that's about a first down to me. Or even if you ran the 2 yards per carry, now it's 4th and 2. Now a defense is thinking you might fucking run again. So a play action will work. We would come out, throw the ball on third down, incomplete, and then go empty backfield on 4th and 4, 4th and 2, empty backfield. If you 4th and 2 and you're going empty, the defense doesn't have to think about what the fuck you're doing. We're going to go after your quarterback because you're coming out in a passing formation with no running back in the backfield. Or we'll have one in the backfield, or we'll send him out just to see what the defense is in and spread it out, running a spread offense. Dumb as fuck. That is dumb. I don't care. That's dumb on Madden. That's not just dumb in real life. That's dumb. If you're playing me in Madden and you're doing that, I'm like, this dude is an idiot. That's dumb. You understand? I could play cover 2 and beat you because you're trash. You understand? Like, that's dumb. Ain't no way you could tell me that Kellen Moore was giving me anything. You know what I mean? He wasn't. That's dumb. That's dumb. Oh, you cash at me, Megatwan. Let me see what you're saying. He said they hated Zeke since Kellen got here. That is a fact. Nobody even think about that. Like, I think about causality. Like, cause and effect is real, man. Like, yeah, we all hated Zeke since well, most of you hated Zeke since Kellen got here. Wonder why. We don't got a fullback. We don't run no I form, no weak, no strong, nothing with nobody in the backfield. And when we do it, it's like we'll go wide, and then first down, you coming out in a power look, and then you go out of that power look, you go into a spread, then a power look. It's like you're very predictable. When you're in the spread, you either gonna run. You might do a check down run, meaning you check out of the pass play, kill it, and then hand the ball off. But that's not running with intention. That's saying, Dak, if you don't see the look that we're looking for pre-snap after you get a read for what they're in, hand the ball off. That's how Peyton Manning used to hand the ball off to Edgerrin James and Marshall Faulk and those guys, right? That's how Tom Brady used James White and LeGarrette Blount and those guys. He'll kill, and we're going to hand the ball off out of shotgun, and if you get some, you get some. But that's running. That's how Aaron Rodgers actually beat us. He would come out, kill, and then hand the ball off. That's how he beat San Fran, too, the year before. San Fran, the way he beat San Fran was coming out and passing looks, knowing that San Fran was looking to take away the pass, and just handing the ball off. He didn't give a fuck if they got yards or not. That's when you got a passing quarterback that's running to try to keep a defense honest versus a running game that's running because you want to actually get somewhere with the run. Those two different things, man. Zeke was nothing but a blocker under Kellen. That's exactly what he do. Well, when we ran the ball, used play action and threw underneath, we drove the ball easily and scored on number one defense in San Fran. Kellen saw that and said, "Nah, let's run curls." That was last season. Last season, the only drive that we had that was successful was the one drive where we ran the ball. We had Cedric Wilson get open in off of a play action, score a touchdown. That was our one successful drive. Then we went right away from that again. So you're exactly right with that one, Davey. And Davey, when it comes to Exodus, when it comes to personnel, we kind of argue when it comes to personnel. But X's and O's, you always kind of on point with that. Yo, when's the next roundtable? Cowboy Nation fiending for one. I'll talk it up and see if these guys are ready. You know, everybody got busy schedules because of draft season, so we'll see what's up. But I don't know. Certificate of need. There we go. I needed that. I'm sorry. I just got some news about our home healthcare agency. I just got an email that I need to look at. I really want to see Sean Tucker with a star on his helmet. You know what's crazy? Every time I see that name, I'd be thinking like, I know he's too old though. But I grew up with a dude named Sean Tuck in Delaware. Man, that was my guy. His name's Sean Tucker. Um, Let me see what else you guys are saying. Poor line play. He got sacked one time and hit 3 times. What? No, we ain't had no poor offensive line play. If that's what y'all asking, like, no, our offensive line for him to be holding the ball as long as he was holding the ball, our offensive line looked crazy. Matt Norris, there is no QB that can overcome poor old line play. Oh, that's what you're saying. KC lost to Tampa Bay because the line took too many injuries. You give too much blame to Dak and ignore that. I don't think Dak had poor old line play though. He actually played his old line played well. Jay Bryant. He probably poor play calling, but not poor old line play. They didn't attack anybody. You know what I mean? He didn't know how to attack players specifically. Kellen Moore did. All right. He drew up open wide receivers in the San Fran game. Did he? Weird. What happened to double moves? I saw that one already. Chargers running backs never going to touch the ball. That's facts, man. Now let's watch it. Watch Akers. What's his name? Eckler, Austin Eckler. Let's watch Austin Eckler and see if Austin Eckler is a back that could do it all. So he might be able to run some of those draw plays like Tony Pollard could and still be effective. Because you could throw him the ball too. But I guarantee you his rushing yards might not go down because they got a quarterback that can actually draw you into the run, and those draw plays will work or should work. But I guarantee you his passing numbers going down because Austin Eckler is a receiving running back. Let's talk next year about Austin Eckler, man. So you're right about that, Chris Davis. Chris Davis be on point too with his X's and O's. Let me see what else we got. Why get flowers if we have a little sweet Turpin? We don't use him. We should use Turpin too. But Turpin little though. Ain't he like how tall is Turpin? He about the same size as Flowers, to be honest with you. But I think he like 160 though. Dez and Amari all said the same about OC. He wasn't drawing up proper plays. Facts. LA firing Kellen Moore midseason. Chargers are gonna hate Kellen Moore as OC. Maybe not though, because there could be a perfect storm. It depends on how much freedom they give Kellen. If they don't give him all the freedom that he wants, Kellen may come in and draw up plays for what's his name? Hobert, whatever his name is. They quarterback. He is a true gunslinger. Kellen Moore is a quarterback for, a quarterback's coach or a coach for a gunslinger. They've turned Dak into something that he's not. He has never been. And now, since you're talking about, you've been watching him since high school, Matt. When has Dak been a gunslinger? Never. But he's been that here for the last 2 seasons or last 3 because of Kellen. And that, although he played what you would call slightly above average as a gunslinger, I think Dak as a true under center play action quarterback would be a lot more like Russell Wilson in his prime. A guy that can definitely hit open men, definitely can stretch plays, definitely is tough, definitely can run the ball when there's nothing there. He can do that all day. And Russell Wilson obviously isn't a great quarterback. You can see that when he went to Denver. But in that specific system, West Coast power run look great. I think Dak gonna do the same. I think he's gonna do the same. I'm excited. But yeah, don't make me go into more rants, man. You going crazy on me, Matt. You Hubbard, that's his name. Yeah, you going crazy on me, Matt. You tripping. Turpin 5'7", 150. 5'7", 150. Damn. There's some chicks out here bigger than that. Damn, and they not even fat. That's crazy. Troy Dudley, O-line should be even better after they get to a new scheme. Yeah, after they get a new scheme down. Yeah, because he won't hold the ball long. When you're getting the ball out quick, yeah. AKOYE, you my guy. I just feel different about the QB. Most everything you say, I agree with. For the record, I don't think Dak's a bump. Oh no, I'm busting your chops because you were like, you know how they turned me into the logical icon against certain players. Like they did it with Dak because I might say something that's logical, and then they'll get behind my argument or use my videos to say, "Oh, I hate Dak, and here's why." But they're using me as a shield for that. You speak so loud on Twitter and on in the chats that you become the battering ram for guys who just truly just hate Dak, and they use your facts or use your arguments to support it because you do make good arguments. But the guys who say he's a bum use the shit that you say to try to justify their arguments. So that's why, although you don't call him a bum, people who call him a bum use your arguments to call him a bum. So that's why you become the target for the counter argument. Not like I think you think you're a bum. You know, like I said, I shout you out all the time. I ain't got no problem with you at all. But that I definitely gonna speak on. You know what I mean? That's all. And they do the same thing to me. You know what I mean? They turned me into Dez's attorney. I was Dez's lawyer, and I hated Dak. I was like, no, I'm gonna call bullshit play. If it's bullshit, and I'll do that now. I did that this season. I said, this is what's wrong with Dak. Is it Dak or Kellen Moore? And then later in the season, I said, God damn, Dak actually doing some things I like, doing things I never saw him do. I could point him out. Dak never used to throw balls where, you guys run right under it. He never used to throw 50-50 balls where he had to do jump balls and stuff like that. He damn sure never threw into coverage like 50-50 balls. If he did that, Dez would probably still be happy and still be here. Dak did that to T.Y. Hilton in the Eagles game. I said, damn, he threw it up there. He never used to throw back shoulder plays. You go to the Chargers game, the Rams game. Michael Gallup was running up the sideline. There's a guy playing stack coverage over top of him. He threw a perfect back shoulder pass. I said, damn, that's something I don't see Dak doing that much. Those plays where he was trying to get the timing down, where CeeDee Lamb was supposed to cross the face of those safeties, and he wasn't doing it. CeeDee Lamb wasn't breaking his route off and crossing the face. He was trying to float over the top. Those interceptions were only coming because Dak was doing something he never was doing before. And I was like, well, maybe he's trying to get it down. And that's what he was doing. At least he's attempting it, which is throwing aggressively, trying to split that too high safety. He was never doing it. That's why too high safety was killing us last season. When they played 2-man under or cover 2, we ain't have no answers for it. Now, Dak was throwing in the middle of the field, but he's throwing some interceptions because the safety is not scared of CeeDee Lamb. They sit on CeeDee Lamb because he don't have that level of. They weren't worried about him getting behind you because he's not a deep threat. So the safeties were sitting on him and just driving. If a safety's sitting and driving consistently, every safety you come against, that means they're not afraid that wide receiver can't threaten the upfield, up the seam. They can't threaten it before the post because if they did, that safety would bail, and then there would be room for you to just sail underneath it. If you're fast, if you're not fast, that safety's going to sit on it, and when you try to sail, he's going to drive because there's nowhere for you to go. You're not threatening him, so he get get into his back pedal and try to get upfield. You don't threaten him in that way. So that's why I say we don't need a Mike Evans, we don't need a D-Hop, we need speed. Dak top 10, I will say he definitely top 10. Dak was also more aggressive. Our wide receivers sucked. No separation equals tight throws. Wide receivers don't all have to be great, bro. I guarantee you, another team, another quarterback, or another team scheme. When I say another quarterback, I mean quarterbacks that's used to rub routes and things like that and know how to call certain plays. We'll get these guys open all day. Noah Brown is a possession guy. CeeDee Lamb is definitely good enough to get open. You already saw Deebo Samuel is pretty much the only real wide receiver over there that's great. The rest of them are just okay. They didn't have a wide receiver group. Why they beat us? Because you don't need a wide receiver room that's all crazy. I think Michael Gallup, you knew what he can give you: jump balls and back shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Set him up for those though. CeeDee Lamb's a drag route guy, dig route, slant routes. You didn't set him up for that. You didn't run any rub routes. You got a tight end that definitely can draw attention. You didn't run any rub routes with that. We didn't do anything horizontal. Everything was vertical. And our best play of the season was all goals, 3 all go. So we'll have a 3 all go, tight end running up the seam, all go. We'll have that Z receiver running up the sideline, all go, and our X receiver running up the sideline, all go, and then run a post pattern with somebody across the middle, something like that. Or we'll run a double seam where we'll have Pollard run out, and he's running a wheel route, and they have a tight end running up the seam so that when we get the ball to Pollard quick over the top of that linebacker, that tight end automatically is his lead blocker up the field. We would do shit like that. There is no route in that. Let's just run straight and hope that they don't read it right. And if they don't read it right, Dak hit the right guy. That's it. That's bullshit. There's not a lot of horror. There's no mixing. The stuff that the Rams would do to simplify it, the stuff that Seattle would do to simplify it for Geno Smith, meaning run a lot of mesh routes where you have to cross, a lot of flood routes. Where if you're gonna run cover two, cool. We're gonna make that corner choose. So he's either gonna bail on that deep out, or he's gonna sit on his flat route. And I know where to go with the ball automatically. If he bails, I get the ball out quick to the running back, let the running back hit the corner or run by him. Or if he sits, I get the ball in behind him. Now I have to wait and time that throw. But those things weren't happening because we weren't running that shit at all. My friend wants to know what does that picture mean? This picture is a tarot card. It's the star card. Star card is about like well, it's a lot of what do you call symbolism that's in the card. I don't really want to get into a whole tarot breakdown. But when you're looking at the divine feminine woman, so when you see something that's naked, the reason she's nude is because it's all about the star card is about being honest or being what they call like ipsissimus, which is like your true, authentic self. So that means you don't have anything to hide. Water is just about pouring out your emotions, grounding your emotions and shit like that. They have the moon and stars here, you know, we so on. They have the zodiac wheel there. That's just an indication of like how to develop or how to manifest things. So you got air, water, earth, and fire. So and then you being your solar plexus represents like your kundalini energy, shit like that. That is how you manifest. It's like those four elements. So air is thought, earth is like something physical, water is your emotions, and fire is like your desire and your passions and shit like that. So I won't get into that real crazy, but that's what it means. Sup, player? Sleazy, what's good with you, Brody? Dallas had two of the worst separators and catch percentages at receiver in the league. See, you can't say that though, Davey. When you're running comeback routes, if you're running 4 comeback routes, how much separation you think you're gonna have when corners know what you're doing already? You're not gonna get a lot of separation. And the teams that have better separation run mesh routes. So of course you're gonna get separations if a corner has to float back to let another guy go under him because they're all these mesh routes coming in and rub routes coming at him. We actually dealt with that on crossing patterns where Debo Samuels and those guys would get open on those deep cross routes because of rugs. Because no matter who you are, if you're on that guy's hip and there's a guy running right at you, you got to bail out to let him go and then re-engage. That happened all the time against us, but we never did it. So of course you're not going to have a lot of separation running all goals or comeback routes, no slant routes, no setups. There's that goes hand in hand. So you're right, but you're not looking at why that's the truth. So nah. SoCal, Dak had one good receiver and an average tight end. Name another QB who will win a Super Bowl with that. I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Thanks. That's dope. Appreciate you, Cowboy Gumbo. I didn't reread the chat. I said how I felt. If you felt differently, Jay Bryant, cool. That is my opinion. Matt Norris, if you can't see what I mean, I show examples of other teams doing things to be successful. When you can't see that way, you're improving your team, our team. Hey man, listen, y'all both all like I said, as far as X's and O's, y'all both always make valid points. But all I ask you to do, Matt, and definitely thank you for saying hit that like button, do that. But all I ask you to do, man, you can feel how you want to feel about last season. You can be as pissed as you want. I never argued with nobody who wanted to voice that. Do your thing. But just don't go into this season with that energy, bro, because people listen to you. For real. You get a lot of traction when we're on Twitter talking shit. People listen to you. And it'd be like a dejected whole, you know what I mean? Yeah, you just dejected when it comes to that. I just hate seeing it out of fellow fans. Like I went to a game with you, you'll make me depressed. I'm like, we about to come back in the second half. You're like, man, fuck that is shit, man. I'm like, come on, bro. You like Aries Spears and Jerry Maguire, bro. Remember Aries Spears and Jerry Maguire, where Aries Spears kept talking shit about his own brother, although he loved his brother, but he's so emotional. He kept saying, "Man, yeah, I told you he ain't big enough for the league, man." And all this shit he was talking. That is Matt Norris, man. Of course you love the team. I know you want us to win, but you talk so much shit. I would think you wasn't on our side. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. That's who you, Aries Spears and Jerry Maguire. I'm put that as an intro. I'm gonna put that as an intro in one of my videos, man. You just called it because that's really how you act, bro. Uh, yeah, I see y'all. Thank you, man. Stop that arguing, Jay Bryant. I see what he said. He said, Matt Norris is all good. We both want to win. I'm not in the business of tearing down other Cowboys fans. I feel that. um, let's see. Davey84 says, you're right about Noah Brown as a career backup who ain't have his first TD until this year. MG a good number two, but hasn't a good season since 2019. Oh, he had a good season 2021 before he got hurt, and he had a good season 2020. Everybody had a bad season. I don't give him that. CD is great, but is it at wide receiver? Uh, but that's it at wide receiver. You said my bad. I wouldn't say yeah. I wouldn't say Michael Gallup ain't good, man. You can get a wrench for sure, bro. Yeah, for sure you can get a wrench. Chris Davis, you be around. I trust you. I trust you. There you go. You got your wrench, good sir. Much deserved. Much deserved. Let's see. 2 seasons of winning. Do you believe a team will get next level this way, or this way with all the changes? I think that's what you're saying. Yes, I do think we can get better because we're acknowledging what we weren't doing well. When you see a team, what we were doing differently years prior, man, you'll see Jerry come out and say that we were good when we weren't doing anything new or special. We weren't making any splashes, but they kept trying to like put lipstick on a pig, so to speak. They're not doing that anymore. Like we have been developing the shit out of players. Like look at a guy like Bland that just comes out of nowhere is good. We've been drafted well and developing well. Look at a guy like although he fell off the cliff, Neville Gallimore. We are like, hey man, he was good 1 year and then he just went to shit. We've been drafting well, and look at a guy like I said Blair. Look at Izzy Mukamu, who I didn't even like. I said he can't hit. He was hitting his ass off in the playoffs and came in at 6'4", 215, covering guys out the slot. I don't think you guys get how ridiculously good that is. That's like Darren Woodson. We haven't seen that since Derwin James and Darren Woodson. They do that. That's how good that is. And I'm not saying Derwin James like he's done it on a stretch. He got to show me he could do it more games. But if he continuously can do that, that is just as good as a Derwin James, who was a top 20 pick, right? He's just as good because I don't even see Derwin James covering guys out the slot that are quick guys. He covers big guys. Izzy could cover big guys or quick guys or tight ends. Feel what I'm saying? And I didn't even like him. I didn't like him at all. That shows you development. I thought he was soft, man. Bussy ball. You know what I mean? For real. So again, I don't hate the players. I hate the play. And these guys develop their level of play. We've seen that. Sam Williams, a rookie that nobody even wanted, nobody liked. I kind of liked him. And Micah Parsons coming in and being one of the like some other team would have took Micah Parsons, made him a middle linebacker, and he would have been the best or one of the best middle linebackers in the league. But I don't think they would have took him and put him at defensive end and got what we got out of him. So now he's going from being possibly one of the top linebackers in the league to being one of a once in a generation style player that's being compared to LT. And that's showing you we're trending in a different direction than we have been in the past. We are doing things totally different than we were before. We used to try to dress up certain things, and now we're talking about we might be making a big splash here and there. Like we weren't talking that shit before, or saying like we think we might win. Or Jerry wasn't crying in the Pro Bowl. I mean, in the playoffs, he wasn't crying when we lost the playoff because he was hype if we made it. You know what I'm saying? If we made it to the playoff, he'll be mad when we don't make the playoffs. And then he'll do something next season, shove his arm so far up JG's rectum that JG starts to speak with a different accent and does things little different. When really that was Jerry coaching the team through JG. We're not seeing that in Mike McCarthy. And the biggest reason you know that's the truth, because Mike McCarthy Mike McCarthy's smart. I'll give him that. But he gave Kellen Moore enough rope to hang himself because he knew I can't hang him because he's Jerry's guy, right? Can't come in and hang him. And there's two reasons he didn't do that. One, Dak was already successful as far as offensively before Mike McCarthy got here. So if you say, hey, I haven't been coaching and I don't want to come in and change the scheme and I don't want to destroy Dak, So what's the best thing to do? I don't even know the language. I don't know their verbiage. I need to come in and learn the verbiage. And I need to let the guy who already knows that do what he does. Plus, he's Jerry's guy. So let him sink or swim. If he wins and it's good for us, cool. I get the credit. If he is what I think he is, then it'll take a couple seasons for Jerry to see those trends. And we started to see that at the end of last season with San Fran game. And then we saw more of it this season to a point where Jerry was okay with Mike McCarthy. He said, hey, go ahead, do what you want to do. Get rid of him. See what I'm saying? That was smart. That's how he had to go about it. So I don't have a problem with the way Mike McCarthy came in and did his thing, man. I feel like with this team, when the way we're playing, we're trending in a direction that I haven't seen us do. I haven't seen this since Parcells, but the difference with Parcells is we did have a cultural change with Parcells, which took us from being like 8-year losers who were drafting dudes like Quincy Carter and Troy Hambrick and bums, just bum. We thought dudes that were like average were great because they were the best thing we see. Like Terrence Newman was a good corner, a good number 2 corner. We were looking at Terrence like he was shut down. Why? Because that was the best we was going to get here. Feel what I'm saying? We went out and got Anthony Henry, who was like a journeyman dude, but I liked him. You know what I'm saying? Those guys wouldn't be like big names here today. You know what I'm saying? Even Roy Williams would just be another guy in this safety room because we got 4 of them, 5 of them, if you count Dono. You got 5 safeties that could start. I think Marquise Bell could start in certain positions. I know Izzy could. We already know J. Ron Kurtz could. We know Hooker can. You know what I'm saying? You know Dono can. See what I'm saying? So we got 5 safeties that like this is a different trend. We're deeper now than ever before. So saying that, why do I think we can win is like, don't look at the team as a whole. Don't go back to 1996 like everybody likes to do you and look at this team. Just look at it in a vacuum. What have you done for me lately? And lately, even with the COVID year, I thought we were average, but okay. Lately, we've been pretty fucking good. And in the COVID year, Dak broke his leg. So lately, we've been pretty fucking good, bro. So, of course, I think we can get better. We've been getting better. Last year, we were better than the year before. And I don't have to tell you that. You didn't think that we would match last year's 2021's output with 12-5. We wouldn't match that record. With the Eagles playing the way they were playing, with the Giants playing the way they're playing, the whole division's getting better. But with them playing the way they were playing this season, with Dak hurt for 5 games, if I didn't tell you how the season ended, if somebody told you, hey, Dak's going to be hurt for 5 games, and it's going to be a thumb injury, he's going to come back and be rusty, he's going to lead the league in interceptions, okay? That's that right there. Zeke is going to have his worst career. He's going to be injured too. Tony Pollard's going to get hurt late in the season. You know what I'm saying? Steele is going to get hurt mid-season. Tyron Smith going to get hurt before the season, and we're going to start a rookie, Tyler Smith. We're going to play musical chairs with the offensive line the whole season, okay? We're going to have one, you guys said it, not me. We're going to have one good receiver to throw the ball to and an average tight end. And we got an offensive coordinator who doesn't know situational football. If I put that on paper, and I said, how the season gonna end? Before I tell you how it ends, if somebody picks 12-5 and losing in the playoffs, in the divisional round in the playoffs, if y'all said that y'all would have chose that, you a goddamn lie. Because I wouldn't have. I would have thought we would lose to. And then Cooper Rush is going to be a 4-1 quarterback while Dak is going. Bullshit. If you said that that's how you thought the season would have ended. So to see all that happen and to overcome all that and still get to where we got, that means we're automatically getting better, bro. You can't say we ain't get better. That's better. It's fucking crazy. That's ridiculous. Who could do that? Come on, man. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. None of y'all would have said we would have got there. None of y'all. He said they overcame Kellen Moore. That shows how good they are. That's correct. If you put that on paper, nobody says we get there. Then our starting corner goes down, and the second corner goes down. So J. Lou gets hurt and Anthony Brown gets hurt. And then we got Tom Brady first game in the wild card round, and you're like, oh, we're gonna play him with 2 rookie or 2 young corners. One rookie, one second-year guy that never played corner ever in the league. He played single high safety a couple times this season, and you say, "Oh, he's gonna shut down Brady's favorite target, and we're gonna beat the shit out of him." Nah. Then y'all say, "Well, Brady was old." Brady wasn't old the year before. Brady wasn't old the last Super Bowl he won either. That was only 2 years ago. So come on, man, stop it. This season would have been over with Jason Garrett. Exactly. The CBs are still going down. Was it for real? Facts. Bank Fisher at Akoye. I think Mike brought Schottenheimer in last year to learn the verbiage. I thought that when he brought him in, very smart. That's the only reason everybody gave me credit for Brian Schottenheimer and me picking him as the offensive coordinator, because I weighed his familiarity and his history with his dad, his dad's ability to run the ball. Both of them played Marty ball. So if you're looking for a guy who runs the ball and you want that DNA, like Shanahan DNA, you got that in Marty ball for sure, because LaDainian Tomlinson was a beast under Marty. But and then they played together 25, they coached together 25 years ago, and he was already on the team. Now there was other guys like I think McAdoo, and there was other guys that were consultants here or guys that we might look at, but they would have had to come in and change the verbiage and change everything. Not Brian Schottenheimer. So that's why I chose Brian Schottenheimer over everybody else. I said this will be, if I was Jerry, if I was Mike McCarthy, this would be the guy that I would go with. Not because he's a better coordinator than everybody, but because he's already here and he knows he's familiar with these guys and he already knows how to use these guys. So you got a good point right there with that, Bank Fisher. I like it. Trey Fargo, this team overcame a lot, then got let down by one position. We couldn't afford to let us down. True, but it was only a letdown because it was a build-up. It would have been a letdown at week one had we not done everything we did after that. So that's a letdown that I personally can deal with. You know, personally, I could deal with that. If I was a coach and I was coaching this team, I wouldn't have been mad. I would have been mad for my guys, not at my guys. You get what I'm saying? That's how I felt this season. I was hurt like everybody else, but I was hurt for those guys because you had guys like Curse playing with fluid on his knee, messed up. He had guys like really, really, yeah. Micah Parsons was getting beat up all season, man. They was all toughing it out to make a run this season. You could tell they wanted it. The one thing I think they did too much of was talking about the big game and not worrying about what was right in front of them. They should have did a little bit more of that. But I was more mad for them instead of at them. Whereas years prior, I was mad at them. Dak too, all of them. So yeah, man, I feel y'all pain, but y'all just misdirecting the target of your hatred. It's like I can't be mad at this team and what they gave me this season, because the hope that you lost in the playoffs was only there because what they did during the season. It wouldn't even have been there with all the injuries and all the crazy shit we had happen. That shows that they're a well coached team that's able to change the line. Yeah, Tyron Smith come back and play right tackle in the middle of the year. He didn't play great. He didn't play bad either. But our run game suffered when Still went out. But he had him come back and play right tackle. You had McGovern sit down and come in and sit down, and Tyler Smith play left guard, then left tackle, then left guard, then left tackle. Get what I'm saying? It's like we had Josh Ball play a game. It's like we had a lot of weird shit going on where we were still able to be good. Loving Aries, what's good? Obviously, you're right, Matt. We definitely need more playmakers, though. Definitely. I think that Schottenheimer is going to change the way the run game looks. I mean, go look at the film. Go look at the film, and I'll do more of it if y'all want me to put more of it out there. I only put a couple of games out there just to show how you cause the run. But when I've been watching, I watched a lot of it. I just, when you got 10 hours of film, you want to get that down to 3-4 minutes. It's hard to do. But I watched a lot of Schottenheimer, and I watched old games of his pop. But I watched a lot of Brian Schottenheimer for sure. And him at Seattle, those 3 years of Seattle, everybody says, "Oh, he don't know. He's a run first coach." Russell Wilson's last couple of years that he was actually good was under Schottenheimer. He wasn't good in 2021. He was good. That's why he wasn't here. It was there in Seattle after 2022. But he was good. 2020, his last year there, when they said he wouldn't let him cook, man, he had 40 touchdowns and 13 interceptions, I think. 4,000 yards. He played pretty damn good. And that was on the Shotty. And when you look at the way he got to 4,000 yards, it was like, damn, how's he doing it? It's because they was running the ball. So that's what I was saying to Ken Lott who says that run first means you don't throw the ball. It doesn't mean that. It means you throw more efficient. But you'll have a dude like Purdy who's a run first team, but he'll still be putting up 300 yards, just as many 300-yard games as Dak or some shit like that, right? In that stretch. Why? Not because he's throwing the ball and just slicing guys up. It's because they're running the ball so aggressively that he has the easiest reads that a quarterback can ask for. When Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl, it was for the same reason. They had a good defense, and all he had to do was just not fuck it up. And he had the easiest reads that you can ask for because he had guys like Wes Welker running mesh routes and getting open quick and easy. Just let him get the ball out because he had a fused neck. He couldn't hold the ball, and he can't move. So if he didn't get rid of the ball like this, he was a dead man. So that same style of play is what won them a Super Bowl. That same style of play is what won the LOB and Dan Quinn and those guys a Super Bowl. That's what won them a Super Bowl. Running the ball and throwing off a play action. And that's what we're going to get. So I think you're going to get more out of Dak with less. Dak throwing the ball 25 to 30 times a game, but being far more efficient and getting a lot more big plays because of it. So, I mean, I can talk all day. Y'all know how I am, man. But y'all got me passionate today with that, man. But yeah, man, I'm loving it. Shotty is going to design a complementary offense for our defense, and the run and passing game will mirror each other. Facts. Okoye, I think our line is really going to help with that play action and run game. I think when you get this offensive line into a point where they're getting momentum, meaning defenses can't fire off the ball on them because they only holding the ball for 3 seconds, getting the ball out in that West Coast scheme, the line is not going to be tired from pass blocking because they're not going to be asked to pass block for 3, 4 seconds, 5 seconds at a time, 7-step drops. They're not going to be asked to do all that. It's going to be quick shit where they can just chop, just get the guy's arms down. How easy is that? Just shoot at this guy's legs, get his hands down so Dak can get a clear read. Get his hands down. Dak can get a clear read. Quick shit. That's how West Coast offense works. And then save your energy for when we want you firing off the ball like the maulers that all of them are. We got 7. We had 7 maulers. All of them are maulers. Biadasz is a mauler. What he did to Vita Vea in the first game of the season against Tampa Bay, killed his ass. Tyler Smith, mauler. Tyron Smith's all-around guy, but he's a mauler. Zach Martin is not as fast as he used to be, but he's still a mauler. And we know Steele is a mauler, and we know McGovern's a mauler. You know what I'm saying? That's 6 of them. Who's the other one? Well, we got 6 of them. That's enough. You know what I'm saying? You 6 deep in your offensive line. Oh, no, we had Peters. That was the 7th, who was also a finesse type of guy, but still can be a mauler if you ask him to fire off the ball. That was 7 linemen. You telling me Mike Scolari, who used to come in and use Fant, as an extra lineman, can't figure that out? Oh, yes, he will. And he'll figure out how to use Ferguson and Hendershot as well. So, I mean, I'm hyped. Those of y'all who watch Last of Us, you know I'm about to get off here and watch that in a second. But we got guys, man. Our offensive line is going to be better than they were under Kellen. And that's saying a lot because they were pretty good under Kellen, but they're a lot better. We still have the great wall of Dallas that we had with Fredericks and a healthy Doug Free and a healthy Leary and a healthy Zach Martin and a healthy Tyron Smith. We still have that. We still have that. The problem is when Kellen Moore came in, you can go back to to 2019 season. I said it all season. I said, yo, these dudes are running the ball, and their first step as a lineman is to step back into pass protection. You're letting the defensive line hit you all game, and then saying, when we actually are passing, you're going to run the same protection. And now you're tired because you've been getting hit all game by some of the best pass rushers in the league. Allow them to hit them. That's just common sense. Even on pass plays, cut their legs out so they can't get upfield. You know why? Because they don't know, is he going to shoot at my legs this play? Is it going to be a quick slant where he shoots at my legs, or can I get upfield? So you're making defenders hesitate before they get off the ball. And that's all you want, is them to think before they rush. That buys you time late in games where you actually do need a 7-step drop or you do need a bootleg. You got it, because they ain't getting upfield no more because they've been getting chopped down all game. And they trying to protect their knees. And you know how I know that shit works? Because they did it to us. That's what they was doing to Michael Parsons. That's what they did to Michael Parsons all year. They was shooting at his legs, trap blocking, coming. It was just shit. It was like an organized mess, shit flying at knees all day. They did that to Dorrance Armstrong. They did it to Michael Parsons. They did it to D-Law all season. Only person they couldn't do that shit to was Sam Williams because he was blowing shit up. But they was doing it to Michael Parsons all season, man. So I know that shit works. Troy wasn't Biadasz claimed as most improved player. I think he probably was, man. Biadasz going into his third year. Yeah, Biadasz is going into his third year. He good already though. The real reason why we ain't won anything ain't because of the QB player, play caller, coaching defense, offense, or special teams. The only thing that hasn't changed in the last 27 years is the Jones. I will even argue that they have changed, bro. Mike McCarthy is the reason that you know that's true. Because if that wasn't the case, you know what would have happened? The same thing that happened to Wade Phillips. We would have played well, and they would have replaced Mike McCarthy with somebody controllable like a Kellen Moore. That's what they would have done. You wouldn't see um, head coach caliber coordinators and coaches throughout the staff. We didn't do that before. We would have dudes like uh, I don't even remember their names, but we have a bunch of nobodies as our position coaches and our coordinators, guys that could be controlled, and then one puppet. You know what I'm saying? You got Mike McCarthy. We had Nolan Smith here at one point, who was a head coach. Got rid of him. We brought in Dan Quinn, who was a head coach. Keeps him. We had Joe Philbin, who was a head coach. You know what I'm saying? So we were bringing in guys who were either top coordinators or head coaches, and then asking them to do less than they were asked to do in their full role. That's something that Jerry wasn't doing before, man. So Jerry has changed. He has changed. I used to talk shit about Jerry too. I haven't said much about Jerry because we've been developing guys. I think he kind of backed up off the scouting room, and he said, okay, instead of me picking the guys like the Jalen's that I want or the tacos that I want, I'm going to let you give me the best of. I'm gonna trust what you're saying. Give me the best players that fit a certain criteria, and then I'll pick from that. That's what Jerry's doing now versus what he was doing with Will McClay before. Will McClay was coming up with guys, and he was just, I want this guy instead, and he was overruling good scouting. Obviously, it's good scouting because look how they're developing now. So everything's changing, bro. Everything's changing. What position do you think they'll fill in the first few rounds of the draft? I think we're in a position right now because we haven't cut Zeke, we haven't franchised Tony. We're in position right now where no matter what position, you could say we need running backs, you could say we need receivers, but I think we're in position right now where we could truly pick the best player available. So I think that's what we'll do. The best, there's a group of players that instead of a position that I think we'll go for. There's a group of players that are there that can change the landscape, and it doesn't matter what round you get them. I think in those first three rounds you're going after a wide receiver, an edge guy, and a running back, or you'll go after a lineman. If you're not keeping McGovern, you go after a lineman, a wide receiver, and possibly a running back, and then try to get you a defensive tackle later in the draft, something like that. But I think it's more so like that. I don't think it's a one position thing because I think we got leverage at every position, even in negotiations with OBJ is going to be determined by how well we do in the draft. But there's so much talent that is suited for our team in the draft that I think it doesn't matter who's the best wide receiver. Like that kid Scott might drop to third round. You know what I'm saying? He's a guy that we could go after. So it's so much talent that we could definitely move around and play around with whatever the best player available is that falls to us. And I think depending on what falls in that 26th position is going to determine what we do in the second round. We won't know until we see who falls to 26. And the best player available at 26 could be Nolan Smith. It could be a guy like Joey Porter Jr. It could be a guy like Zay Flowers. So I don't think they have a position that they'll go after. I think at 26, we're in a position where we could take the best player available. That's it. Second round tender on still. That means that if he's on the trading block, they're asking for a second round pick for him or something like that. Because he might be a guy that you could shop around if you can get something valuable for him. I think they're looking at it like why not, and he can get paid right now. So I think that's all that is. They're just floating him out there because of that. I don't think they're going to do it, or there might be a little bit more wrong with him with that injury. I don't know what his injury is actually, but it might be a little bit more severe than we thought. So if he got word back from his doctor that hey, he ain't quite right, Jerry might be trying to cut corners with him or cut ties with him before it's too late. You know what I'm saying? So that could be that. Never know. But all right. All right, let me see if anybody said anything else, and then we out. We still don't sign free agents or trade for players to make the team better. All we do is draft, which doesn't win championships. You got to do more than just drafting. That's lies too, bro. We went and traded for Amari Cooper, didn't we? We got better. So that ain't true. We also cut Amari Cooper. um, got you. He said Baddest is no Travis Frederick, but the kid is definitely getting better every year. Yeah, he's not as smart as Frederick, but he's just as aggressive. Um, would you be okay with that if we got something like that for him? If we got a second round pick for Terrence Steele, yeah, I'll be happy. If you get a second round pick for undrafted free agent, yeah, you did something there. And can you replace Steele? Yeah. Do I want to? No, not unless he's not right. But can you replace him? Yeah, I just don't want to. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely a great right tackle, one of the best in the league, in my opinion, especially when it comes to the run. But never know. Jay Bryant, I'm going to disagree and say that a corner is going to get picked in the first 3 rounds rather than a running back. I said a corner. I said best player available in the 26 could be a corner. It could be Joey Porter Jr. I just think that there's enough corners in the draft where you could go fourth round with a corner and get away with it with the corners that we do have. I think Bland is our CB2 if we wanted him to be. And I think that J. Lou coming back could play the slot and so can Izzy Mukamu. So do we have starting caliber corners right now? Yeah. So we don't have to jump out the window at corner. But you might be right though. I won't argue that that couldn't happen. Again, I think we take best player available in the first 3 rounds, so that can go a number of ways. We might even go after that big ass tight end from Georgia. So that could happen in the third round. You never know. So I don't know. You said no way Porter falls to 26. He's too good. Facts, but there's other guys. You got Devin Weatherspoon. You got my kid. I like the kid Emmanuel Ford. They were talking to him, but I like Emmanuel Forbes. He's a guy that might go third, fourth round. So that's why I say you can still get some corners that I actually like later in this draft because they're kind of deep and they all ran pretty good. Yeah, he said drafting a tight end when you have Henry and Ferg would be malpractice. Not that tight end. Not when you got him. That's so much of a mismatch. It's crazy because with a guy like Mike Scolari who like to bring in an extra lineman anyway, you wouldn't need to bring in an extra lineman. You bring in Washington, whatever that kid's name is. You let him be that guy. Ferguson be your second tight end, and then Hendershot be your flex guy that can play around and do other things. But I think he's still dangerous in the pass game, even with that dude. So no, I would still grab him. You know what I mean? I would grab him anyway. I don't think he hurts Ferguson. I think he's just nasty, man. But Deontay Banks is a freak at 26. Yeah, I agree. I agree. We could get it. We can go after a corner in the first round. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that. But also, if Zay Flowers is there, do you take a corner at 26? I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? If Nolan Smith, for whatever dumb reason, is there, would you take Zay Flowers or any of those guys over him? He ain't gonna be there in the second round. I don't think so. So I don't know how the first round plays out, but we've been surprised almost every season. So what I started doing is I just go after and look out. I look at the guys that are, guys that are cowboy type of players, and I just evaluate those guys. I know we're gonna get some of them somewhere down the line. I do that in the first round, and after that, I look at nothing but cowboy style players in the third round or beyond that have second round grades and shit like that. So it's the guys that are great at high with problems. I knew we were going at the Sam Williams last year. I said, oh, he had that arrest problem. He was supposed to be a first round pick, and he ain't injured. And he played in a 3 down. Nobody knew he was gonna be that good because he played in the 3-man line. Sam Williams did in Ole Miss. He was a three man 3-4 defensive end or a 3-3 defensive end, meaning he was the defensive end. It wasn't an outside linebacker outside of him. And he still got 11 and a half sacks with a 3-man line. I said, damn, if you made him a stand-up outside linebacker where he had to just shade offensive tackles, outside shoulder, or he made a true defensive end in a four-man line, he's a fucking problem. If you can get 11 and a half sacks by two gapping at 270 pounds, You two gapping, and then he ran a 4.5. I said, that's it. That's it. Yeah. Stephon Diggs could be a first round pick. I wouldn't be mad at that. You're right, Davey. Sign Odell and go into the draft, free agency, drafting best players available. All possible. All possible. All right, man. I'm out. I'm about to go to my girl crib. I'm gonna go watch Last of Us and call it a night. But I'll be back tomorrow, man. Love y'all. Love what I do. And I'm on the film. I've been in my notes doing a bunch of crazy shit. So you already know I'm on it. Been doing my boxing notes too. All my boxing shit is in here. But I'm on it. So you're gonna see, like I said, more content. I wasn't playing when I said that. I got y'all. You know what I mean? I'm out. Peace. Make sure y'all support. Make sure y'all do what y'all do, man. But you can support me with more than just cash apps and super chats. You definitely can like, share, and subscribe. Definitely share though on Twitter and all other platforms because that's how I get out there. People got to know what I do to appreciate what I do. They don't know me, they can't do it, right? So holla at y'all. Make sure y'all do your job though, man. Love y'all. I'm out. Peace.